A while ago at this point, I started a Skylanders bracket on my channel. I made community posts and basically asked all of you guys what your favorite Skylanders games were, and the results were pretty shocking. I want to go over pretty much what I think your guys' overall ranking of the games was, and which games completely blew out other games, and who won the polls. And overall, I think who was the winner of the Skylanders bracket. I'm going to be going over all that in this video because the results are pretty cool and not exactly what I expected, so let's get right into it. So as far as how I picked which two games would originally go up against each other, it was literally randomly picking them. I just sort of picked, hey, this game and this game, sure, let's match them against each other. And the first one ended up being Skylanders Giants and Skylanders Imaginators. And Skylanders Giants absolutely blew away Imaginators. Skylanders Giants ended up with 79% of the vote, and Skylanders Imaginators ended up with 21% of the vote. And after a while, it sort of completely evened out. It had around 1,000 votes, a little bit more. So I think this is a pretty decent estimate as to what the Skylanders community thinks, but obviously, I mean, 1,000 votes, there might be like 20,000 people in the community. I'm not totally sure, so I'm not 100% sure how realistic that is and how accurately that represents what people actually think, and that applies to this whole video. But Skylanders Giants did do really good, which doesn't really surprise me. It has a lot of fans, and Imaginators does have a lot of haters, so Skylanders Giants is moving up to the winning bracket. Now the next one up was Trap Team against Superchargers, and as much as Superchargers is great and made a lot of amazing improvements, Trap Team completely crushed it with 88% of the vote, and Superchargers only got 12% of the vote. I think a lot of this is just because people don't like the vehicle sections, and the gimmick really was not on point with Superchargers. I really like the racing mode, but I think the forced vehicle sections in the main game weren't that fun. I think that really ruins it for a lot of people, and Trap Team is one of the fan favorite games, if not the most beloved game in the series. So Trap Team ended up completely crushing Superchargers, sending Superchargers to the losing bracket, and Skylanders Trap Team up to the winning bracket. Now the next one up was Swap Force against Spyro's Adventure. This one was another pretty lopsided vote. It had Swap Force with 3/4 of all the votes, and Spyro's Adventure obviously with only 25%. Swap Force, I was kind of surprised to see this win. I feel like the nostalgia factor and the fact that SSA was the first game in the series would kind of give it an easy win here, but no, Swap Force like held its own ground. Swap Force did really good against Spyro's Adventure. I'm pretty surprised about that, and a lot of people in the comments were not happy that Spyro's Adventure lost to Swap Force. So Spyro's Adventure will be sent to the losers bracket, and Swap Force will be sent to the winners bracket. Now the first vote that I did for the winners bracket had Swap Force, Trap Team, and Giants all facing off against each other, and Trap Team demolished the other two. Swap Force got 23% of the vote, Giants got only 18% of the vote, and Trap Team got almost 60% of the vote. It had 59%. This is kind of crazy to me. I thought it would be a lot closer between Giants and Trap Team, and I did not think Swap Force would be in this at all. I felt like the long levels in Swap Force would kind of ruin it for a lot of people. At least that's what it does for me. So I thought, oh, maybe people will agree with me, and Swap Force will be a little bit lower because of the long levels. They kind of make the gameplay drag on. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just a me issue, and you guys don't hate it as much as I do. But I thought Swap Force was going to be a lot lower, and I thought Giants was going to have a lot more of the vote. I thought it was going to be pretty close between Giants and Trap Team, and that Swap Force was going to be kind of out of it. But that's really not how it went. Trap Team kind of demolished both these games, and Giants is really at the bottom, and it's pretty sad, but Trap Team has pretty much won. It's clearly the community's favorite at this point, so that's pretty cool. And now moving on to the last bracket. Here we have Superchargers, Spyro's Adventure, and Imaginators. This one is a little bit closer, but still not really close at all. Superchargers only had 21% of the vote, Imaginators only had 26% of the vote, and Spyro's Adventure had 53% of the vote. This is kind of crazy to me. Spyro's Adventure really demolished these two games, and I didn't realize people did not like Superchargers and Imaginators that much. I think these are clearly the two least liked games in the series. It's kind of crazy to think about, but last two, I guess it makes sense. These were probably the ones that, you know, don't have as much nostalgia. They're kind of, you know, the failures of the franchise or the worst selling. So I guess the failure is a bit harsh, as I really like both these games still. But Spyro's Adventure pretty much had a clean sweep. I mean, 53% of the vote, more than half the people voted for Spyro's Adventure. So I think that's pretty impressive. I think the overall gameplay quality in Spyro's Adventure was pretty dang high, especially compared to Superchargers and Imaginators. And obviously, it's a much more player-friendly experience. To get, you know, 8 Skylanders, one of each element for SSA is very cheap. Getting the game is really cheap. I mean, Imaginators, if you want a full collection, you're spending like $1,500. It's like actually crazy. But Superchargers, I'm kind of surprised Superchargers did this poorly. Like, it is literally the community's least favorite game. and it's weird. It's like a pretty player friendly experience. You know, you can do all the sea, water, and land racing sections with only 3 vehicles, and the roster's pretty good. I don't know. I don't hate Superchargers as much as the community seems to hate it. I think it's at least better than Swap Force, but that's just me. So I think Superchargers is definitely the worst in the series, and this made it pretty clear that Trap Team is the best. But here is the final ranking from the information I have gathered. And once again, I'm not sure how accurate this is because I think a lot of it does depend on which games went up against each other one-on-one at the beginning. But this is the final list that I came up with, and that is 6th place is Superchargers. Doesn't really surprise me. This is definitely the community's most hated game. Then in 5th place is Imaginators. This one is kind of shocking because personally I really like Imaginators, but I guess how much content is locked behind really expensive figures and just the lower gameplay quality and the clear last-ditch effort to just make a bunch of money really is what makes a lot of people dislike this game. But personally, I love it because I have a lot of the Skylanders and I really enjoy the gameplay. And then in 4th place is Spyro's Adventure. This doesn't really surprise me, I guess. I think a lot of fans realize that the newer games just have a little bit more to offer with their new and inventive gimmicks that added more to the gameplay. Spyro's Adventure might just feel a little bit more basic. Then in 3rd place is Giants. There's another one that makes sense. I feel like it's just a better version of SSA overall with, you know, better graphics, better gameplay, and the Giants added a pretty cool touch to the overall gameplay experience. Then 2nd place, I was really surprised by this, but it's gonna be Swap Force. I guess the community really likes Swap Force because it did get 2nd place in this ranking. To be fair, it wasn't really that close between 2nd place and 1st place, but Swap Force, I guess there's a lot of Swap Force fans out there, but I'm not mad because Swap Force was one of my favorite games for a long time. Then I realized then I sort of got sick of it and I don't really like it as much as I used to. But then in 1st place is going to be Trap Team. This one doesn't surprise me at all. This is the clear fan favorite game. I think this has the fan favorite villains of the series. I mean, you got Wolfgang, Dr. Crankcase, Chompy Mage, and then the Skylanders in this game are absolutely awesome. I mean, you got Skylanders like Wildfire and Crypt King and Jawbreaker, and you got Skylanders. I mean, the cores too are overshadowed but still amazing. So Trap Team, I'm not surprised it ended up being 1st place. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is obviously not my opinion. This is based on the community post that I did, and this is what you guys voted for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it's pretty cool to see what the community's overall thoughts are on these Skylanders games and where they would rank them. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next video.